Hello, friends. It is gorgeous here in my little part of Wisconsin, and I am just taking a break from the day, sitting on my swing under my favoriteest tree. Let's see if you can see it. To come to you to talk about fasting. So, I recently just did a 5-day fast, 5.5-day actually, to just reset things, and then go into rolling 48-hour fasts. Now, I have not done extended fasts for quite some time because, as you know, I was dealing with some thyroid issues and some adrenal cortisol issues. But I was feeling really great. I started really increasing my iodine, and that really helped my thyroid. And so those issues, along with my Armour thyroid, really have corrected themselves. So I'm really pleased with that. And so I thought, okay, there's just something I wanted some autophagy, and autophagy is where your cells basically get recycled at a quicker rate than normal. So cells are always replacing themselves, but it takes longer because there's always some autophagy going on in the background. And when you are fasted, your autophagy actually gets increased, and so that recycling process happens much quicker. So basically, old junky cells and proteins get broken down and recycled and then rebuilt up into stronger tissue. You gain lean muscle mass, you increase growth hormone, and which allows you to increase your basal metabolic rate. So there's a lot of great reasons to fast, especially if you're at risk for cancer, if you have dementia or Alzheimer's in your family. These are all reasons to fast. And it's just a good immune reset. It really does boost the immune system. So let's talk a little bit about the different types of fast first, and then I'll talk about my experience and what I'm doing now and what I'm hoping to achieve. If you want to learn more about fasting, the best fasting expert that I can refer you to would be Dr. Fung. He has helped tens of thousands, probably 20s of thousands of patients through fasting. He's helped them with saving their kidneys, saving their limbs, because getting their type 2 diabetes under control and often reversed, or if you don't like the word reversed, in remission, whatever. So he has a lot of work. He's got books, and that's where I first learned about it, and then I branched out. Fasting is the buzzword right now, and it kind of drives me a little nutty when everyone's like, oh, I'm intermittent fasting. Well, intermittent fasting can mean different things to different people, and so I want to kind of clarify what intermittent fasting really is. This is per Dr. Fung and really the fasting definitions. When people say, they fast for 16 hours and they have an 8-hour eating window, or they fast for 18 hours and have a 16-hour window, they'll call that intermittent fasting. Yeah, maybe it's getting into semantics, but it's not intermittent fasting. It's actually time restricted eating because you're just not eating at night when you sleep, and then you're not eating right away in the morning when you get up. So if we were to call that intermittent fasting, then everyone would intermittent fast because no one is fasting, no one is eating when they're sleeping. So really, that is what's called time restricted eating, or you might see the abbreviation TRE. And then you'll see that with like 16:8, 18:6, 24. So some people will fast for 20 hours. Anything under 24 hours is still time restricted eating. The intermittent fasting, if you're doing a 24-hour fast, that's really more of an intermittent fast. 24 hours, 28, 32. Those are all kind of the intermittent fasting. And then you move into, even like 42 hours, that's still intermittent fasting. It is more considered along the lines of closer to an extended fast. Extended fasting kind of runs under where you're going 48 hours or beyond. And that's what I did with the 5.5 day fast. That was an extended fast. I wouldn't have called that an intermittent fast because it was days. So it's not like a day or, 2 of fasting. So the reason that I am getting into these semantics is because when I'm working with someone and they tell me they intermittent fast, well, as you can see, that can mean a lot of things. And so then I have to dig further and find out, what do you mean by intermittent fasting? How long are you fasting for? And so, it really doesn't matter what you call it. It's just something that you should know, that if you want to put it all under the intermittent fast umbrella, that's great. There's just different levels. That's all. Also, it's not as important how long you fast as it is how you break your fast. And this is regardless of if you only fast 10 hours, overnight, and you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You still want to break that fast in the morning with a higher protein meal, let the fat fall where it will, and keep your carbs low. So we're really prioritizing that protein. That is our main goal. This will be for a different video, but often when people hear the word keto or ketogenic eating or lifestyle, they are thinking, and we hear high fat, because keto is high fat. It is high fat in the context of what the general society sees as normal fat, which is really low fat, not even enough for your hormones. High fat keto does not mean drinking loads of coconut or MCT oil or eating tons of sticks of butter or anything like that. That's what I thought keto was until I actually started digging and learning, and I was like, oh, okay, so the people that are doing that, and they're all scared of protein because protein can raise glucose a little bit and raise insulin a little bit. It's supposed to, so that it can get put where it needs to be put to build muscle and whatnot. And so we don't fear protein, but we don't need to add copious amounts of fat. We eat the fat with the protein, how it comes. Now, that's just generalized. If you're dealing with epilepsy or cancer, you may need more fat, a little bit less protein. If you're dealing with mental illness that you're trying to combat, or anxiety or something like that, you may need to add in a little more fat and watch your ketones a little more. But I'm getting off into the weeds, so just know whatever type of fasting you do, you want to break it appropriately. You don't want to break a fast with a bagel or a bowl of cereal, or heaven forbid, a bowl of oatmeal. You should be breaking it with eggs and bacon or beef patties or something with protein, and then fat as it comes. So back to my experiment. I started a week ago Sunday, so we're at Thursday, the Sunday before Memorial Day, not Memorial Day weekend, the weekend before. So I ate dinner and everything, and I started my fast on Sunday evening. And I was going to do as long as I could, fast or Saturday morning of Memorial Day weekend, whichever came first. So I was really listening to my body and, just how I was feeling. If I was going to be getting anxious or kind of white knuckling it, where I just felt like I could barbecue one of my kids, then I was going to break. So if I had headaches that I couldn't get rid of or anything like that, then I would break it. And that's very important, because that's your body telling you, I've had enough, and you need to feed me. So the first 24 hours of a fast is always difficult for me. Some people fly right through 24 hours and they don't start seeing difficulties until about 32 hours. 24 hours, I start getting a little bit hungry, but it's nothing like where I'm like white knuckling it. It's not a big deal. I take salt. Sometimes if I absolutely need to, I'll have a little bit of pure fat, like just a little bit of coconut oil or a little bit of butter in some broth. And yes, I know for those fasting purists out there that that's not a true fast. And for me, that's just fine. I'm not having a protein broth, so it's not breaking my autophagy. And so, and it helps me continue my fast. So when you fast, you want to make sure that you are getting enough salt, because your kidneys will really start flushing out water weight, and they will flush your electrolytes out with it. So it's very important to keep your salt up. So I did electrolytes every day, and just, salt throughout the day. After that first 24 hours, I got to the 32-hour mark, and I was fine. I didn't need any crutches. I was able to I did have a little bit of tea or coffee, and that was fine. I don't always check my blood sugar and ketones, but when I'm doing the long fast, I do, because I like to see where the numbers fall. So it was really nice to see my ketones steadily rising and then getting to a really good point. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, by Wednesday, I was up, my ketones were up over 3, and my glucose was staying nice in the 80s. There was a couple of times, I think around Thursday or so, that my blood glucose was at like 65, and I felt perfectly fine. My ketones were at about 4.5. So what that means is I was running on pure fat and ketones, and I felt amazing. I just felt amazing. I wasn't tired. I wasn't hungry. Had plenty of energy to go for walks, do some light exercises, help my husband work in the garden. We planted some trees and planted some different plants. He's trying to grow some tomatoes and whatnot. And yeah, I felt really, really good. Friday, I felt amazing. I was really good. And I was thinking, well, maybe I'll just break my fast Friday. That I made 5 days instead of going to Saturday morning, because really what was another 12 hours going to get me, even though that was my original goal. And some of my kids weren't even home, so it's not like we were going to have this family dinner together. And my husband said, well, if you're not hungry, why don't you just go until tomorrow morning like you had originally planned? So I was like, okay. So I went until Saturday morning, got up, checked my ketones and my blood sugar, and checked my weight, and did my measurements. And if you, I posted it in the posts here on YouTube, as well as if you're on my Facebook and my Instagram. And so I had lost, I want to say, 1.5 inches on my waist, and like 1/2 inch on my hips. And then I lost something like 5 pounds, and like 3.5 of that was fat. So, which is my goal, is fat loss, not just weight loss. I recently acquired a Renpho Smart Scale, and I know they're not like 100% accurate, but a lot of people use them, and I think they're accurate enough for at home to give me just a little bit of an idea of how much is fat loss. And on that long fast, I didn't lose any muscle. And I bring this up because a lot of times people will say, oh, if you water fast only, you're going to lose muscle. Dr. Fung says you do not lose muscle, especially if you're up, working around and stuff, because you're amping up your human growth hormone. So you're actually creating lean muscle. So I wasn't like too concerned, but I was just curious. So I did all that, and then I broke my fast with a couple scrambled eggs, just something real light and minimal. And then a couple hours later, I had a little something else. I think it was some shaved steak or something like that. And then hubby and I went to IKEA. It's a 2.5 hour drive from here, and then we spent 4 hours in IKEA. If you've ever been to IKEA, you know how easy it is to spend that amount of time there. We just needed a date day. It had been quite some time. And then we went for a late lunch, early dinner at Rodizio Brazilian Steakhouse. I had gone to that when I was at my conference in Vegas, and this is a branch of that. So it is a franchise. So good. Can't recommend them enough. They are absolutely great. Great meat. Great. It's just all cooked wonderfully. So yeah, we had a really, really nice evening, and came home. Then I ate Sunday and Monday, because that was Memorial Day. And so we had family over on Sunday, and then Monday we went to parade, and our grandma was in the parade, and hung out and visited, and then came home and ate some leftovers. And then Monday night started my next 48-hour fast, and that went really, really well. Per usual, I did get hungry around the 24-hour mark, just like I normally do, but it was no big deal. And I was pleasantly surprised how my ketones actually had remained elevated. So that was really nice. And I broke that 48-hour fast last night on Wednesday. It actually works out to be about 47.5 hours, because I don't like to eat too late in the evening. So if I were to go 48 hours and then eat at 6, then I'd be going, So I broke it around 5:30 just so that I wouldn't be eating too late, but whatever. It's a half an hour. I'm not going to spaz out of that. So now I'm eating today. We'll eat tomorrow. And then I will start my next 48-hour fast tomorrow after dinner and break that on Sunday evening for dinner. And that's my plan, is to basically fast for 48 hours, get 6 to 7 meals in, because I've got the one dinner. And then if I do 3 meals in the 2 days that I'm eating, that would be 7. Some days might only be 2 meals. So 6 to 7 meals of good quality protein and very low carb. And yeah, that's my plan for June. I'm going to do this through June until I am getting ready to go to Michigan for my dad's retirement party. So we shall see how the body change and stuff happens. I think I'll find that I like this better than when I did alternate day fasting of 42 hours, because it was 42 hours and then you had like a dinner and then you ate the next day and then you moved into another 42 hours. I'd rather just go the 48 hours and then have 2 days of eating rather than a day and a half. So that's just me. And so that's what I'm doing. I had been posting about the fast and posting pictures of my fasting clock, and I thought I would just get on and do a little video of what it was all about, what I was hoping to achieve. So I'm really just hoping to burn up stored fat and really get that autophagy going to get rid of some of the excess skin I have now, and then just for overall health, because dementia does run in my family. I want to keep my brain as clean as possible, so fasting will also help with that. I hope you have found this enjoyable and helpful. If you have, leave a comment, and if you would share this, that would be great. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will talk again soon. Thanks.